The First King, based on 1 Samuel chapters 8 through 13 and chapter 15.
For years, Samuel judges the people of Israel, and there is peace. But as he grows old, the tribal leaders become worried.
Samuel, you're getting older. Give us a king to be a leader. Let us be like the other nations.
Why would you want to be like the other nations? We've been conquering those other nations. But very well, I will ask God.
Later,
God wants me to warn you what a king will do. He'll send your sons to battle. He will make your daughters become his servants. He'll take your crops away from you and use them to feed his royal court.
Maybe so, but we still want a king.
Again, Samuel prays to God. Then,
Fine. God will give you exactly what you've asked for. Go home, and I will send word when I have found a king for you.
a few days later, Samuel sets out eagerly for the gate of the city. God has told him that on this day he would meet the man who will be the king of Israel.
That must be him.
Excuse me, I'm looking for my
Your
donkey.
donkeys? They've already been found and returned to your father. But we have bigger things to talk about. Come with me to worship the Lord, and tomorrow I will tell you what great things are in store for you.
Great things for me? What does he mean? I'm only the son of Kish, son of Matri, descended from Benjamin, the smallest tribe of Israel. My family and I are not important.
Samuel told us 2 days ago to cook this portion special, just for you.
How did he even know I was coming?
Early the next morning, Samuel leaves the city with Saul and his servant.
Send your servant on ahead, Saul. I have a message for you from God. The Lord has anointed you to rule over his people. Call on the Lord, and he will be with you. And these will be the signs so you know I speak the truth. On your way home, someone will confirm that your donkeys have been found. As you approach the gates of Gibeah, you will meet a procession of prophets playing musical instruments and speaking in tongues. You will prophesy just like them.
Still bewildered at everything that's happening to him, Saul sets out for home. Everything happens as Samuel predicted, including Saul being caught up in the Spirit and prophesying. Saul's neighbors are very surprised to witness this public display.
Is Saul a prophet now?
A few days later, Samuel calls all the tribes together.
Today, God will reveal to you your king!
Who is he?
The people cast lots, knowing that God's Spirit will decide the outcome. Slowly but surely, the choice for their new king gets narrowed down.
Our king will come from the tribe of Benjamin, and the clan of Matri, and the family of Kish.
Out of all the people and tribes, Saul's name is chosen, just as God foretold. But Saul is nowhere to be found until...
What are you doing hiding in the bags and baskets?
I was scared to be chosen king.
Hiding in the luggage? Not a great start for a new king.
Soon afterward, Saul gets another chance to prove himself. The Ammonite king offers some Israelites the chance to be his slaves, as long as they each gouge one of their own eyes out. Saul faces his first test as king. The Spirit fills him, and he is ready to fight. But to his amazement and anger, he discovers that some of his people are afraid to fight. He acts at once. An army forms quickly, and Saul attacks at dawn, catching the Ammonites by surprise. The Israelites swiftly defeat them. Proud of their victory, the Israelites shout their praises to Saul. Spurred on by his victory over the Ammonites, Saul forms a standing army and prepares to win his people's freedom from the Philistines. Now that Israel has a king, Samuel prepares to withdraw from his position as judge. But before he does, he calls the people together and speaks to them as the prophet of God.
Obey the Lord and serve your king. Then all will be well with you. But if you return to any of your wicked ways, you will be destroyed, both you and your king.
The Philistines immediately plan their counterattack against this upstart king.
Take 3,000 chariots, 6,000 horsemen, and all our infantry. Set up a camp at Michmash. From there, we can send out raiding parties that will draw Saul from his stronghold at Gilgal.
Despite their victories, many of the Israelites lose courage when they see the size of the enemy forces.
The Philistines outnumber us by thousands. I'm hiding out until this is over.
There's a pit down the valley. I'll hide there.
Even in the camp of King Saul, the soldiers are afraid.
A raid on the Philistine garrison is one thing. Fighting the whole Philistine army is something else.
These men are losing their nerve. Samuel said he would be here by now to offer a sacrifice to God. We can't wait much longer for him to come, or there won't be an army left to fight.
You're right. We won't wait. I will make the offering myself.
Saul no sooner finishes performing the sacrifice when he sees Samuel coming.
I was afraid my people would run away before you got here, so I offered the sacrifice.
You have disobeyed God. Because of this, one day you will lose your kingdom to another.
Not only does Samuel remove God's favor from Saul, but only 600 soldiers remain who are brave enough to fight the entire Philistine army. Even though the Philistines are not completely defeated, they stop bothering Israel for a while. But other enemies continue to trouble the people. One day Samuel calls Saul to him.
The Lord wants you to destroy the Amalekites. They have been enemies of Israel ever since our people left Egypt. Destroy everything. Don't bring anything home with you, for this is not a war to get rich.
Saul attacks the Amalekites and drives them back toward Egypt. But instead of killing everything, he brings the best of the sheep and oxen home with him. At Gilgal, Saul comes face to face with Samuel.
I have obeyed God's command and destroyed the Amalekites and everything they possess.
Really? Then why do I hear the noise of sheep and oxen?
I thought I'd save some of the best animals to sacrifice to God.
Obedience is better than sacrifice. This is the second time you have disobeyed God. You've rejected the Lord. Now he will reject you as king.
Saul tries to stop Samuel from leaving and accidentally tears his cloak.
You may tear my robe, but God will tear his kingdom away from you and give it to a better man.
No! My people!
At first, Saul tries to lay blame on his people, but finally he admits he has sinned against God. Samuel prays with Saul and then goes home, never to visit the king again.